Good evening, everyone. This is Henry Gamble with SimplerOptions.com, and in today's free video I wanted to follow up on crude oil. We've been talking about crude for quite some time, and the break that we saw today was a very significant move. Now the price that you're seeing changed here during the after-hour session is not truly reflective of what happened during Monday's session. You can come back into USO to get a little bit more of a feel of what really happened there, and it'll show you the percentage change, etc. What I do with these types of things is say, okay, we've been tracking this for some time, and we finally got the move we were looking for today. Is this move over, or is there potentially some more in this that we can try and take out of it? USO is a great ETF for trading crude, but for getting accurate levels and trying to be as close with your work as you can, I prefer to use crude futures. As we look at this chart, not only do I like moving over into the futures, but for this example here, I'm going to hide my studies, and I'm also going to drill down into the current futures contract. So crude rolls every month. The current contract is the Q contract. Thinkorswim makes it easy for us by noting it there on your charts. And now we can drill down into this particular contract. Now this trend line doesn't have a lot to do with what I'm going to talk about today, but I am trying to point out of these situations where you're asking yourself, does this have more downside? And if you'll become accustomed to just these two basic patterns, the first of which is a retracement of the swing that took us into these highs. So a retracement is just retracing the swing. And I'm going to take this from the low at 48.71 back up into this high. That's the first bit of the analysis. Anytime you clear these levels on the way down, you just want to erase them using Control-Click in Thinkorswim. And this is what I wanted to point out, this big area right here at the 618. Now you'll notice that on the 618 I use this as a different color. It's because the 618 carries a very important psychology type to it, because what you're thinking about is, say somebody came down here and they just happened to buy the low in crude at 48.71. Well, usually those types of people are going to be willing to hold through about a 50 or a 6 to an 8% retracement. Once you get beyond that, that's when these guys start to get panicked a little more, and you can exert more force to the downside. Okay, so we've covered that. And then I also like to compare it to symmetry, which all we're doing here is looking at the decline that preceded the rally and then measuring that from our most recent decline. You could also include this swing if you wanted to, but it's not as big of a point to make here, because obviously this swing high to swing low is bigger, and it has already been broken. So what I would say in this situation, or the way that I try to use it, say for example you were long this and you're trying to decide, do I need to give this a little bit of time to see if it can bounce, or do I really need to just cut it and be done? Well, anytime you break down through major symmetry, which we've defined here, and a major 618, which we've defined here, that is your first heads up that that is a break in the pattern and will open up the door to more downside. So not only do I think crude takes out the previous lows, I think we get down here into 44.5. This is not an easy place to short it, but any bounces, especially back up into, if we got 55.60, I would definitely look to short it in there. You're going to have very similar levels in the ETF if you've been tracking it through USO, and I would play it the same way. One other thing that I wanted to make you guys aware of is a class that Bruce and I are going to be doing. We're going to start it this Thursday, and it'll be going throughout the month of July. So if you are a member to either any of the bias services or simpler options, be it the gold or the silver, you'll already have access to this, so you do not need to buy it. This is simply for people that may not be familiar with us, or if you just want to get a more better understanding of what's going on in the very fundamental levels of options. That's what Bruce and I will be teaching throughout these 4 courses. So once again, if you're a member, you get this completely for free and may give you a better foundation in this. If you are not a member of the site but would still like to check it out, we are making that available to purchase. You can just find that at simpleroptions/B2B. Should be easy enough for back to back. And we hope to see you there. So talk to you guys at the next free video.